The burger. It wasn't exactly invented to be healthy. It's meant to be cheap, filling, and taste awesome. And there are more options on the market than ever before. Now taste, that's subjective. Nutrition, that's science. I went from the high end to the dollar menu to find the good, the bad, and the ugly of American burgers. Let the showdown begin. Five burgers. You know them all. I packed, I numbered, and shipped them off to food testing lab Eurofins to find out what is in these things. The result? This boring chart of nutrients. But let me break it down. I would assume protein is probably a prized nutrient. Which burger was the best?
5 and 4 had the best.
That's Five Guys and Shake Shack. Pretty close. But number 4, Five Guys, ekes out a victory. Protein is one of the few benefits of a burger. A lower carb to protein ratio is very telling. It can indicate filler, things like potato, rice, bread, to plump up the patty. The Big Mac had the highest amount of carbs, which probably comes from filler and not the third bun. So protein is the good. The bad? Now everybody knows that high cholesterol leads to heart problems, and in that category, Shake Shack was the worst offender. And where does the cholesterol come from? Is it the meat itself? Is it the quality of the meat? Like, what is it?
Not necessarily the quality of the meat, but anything of organic tissue has inherently cholesterol in it.
Bad nutrients would be, your fat, your trans fat, sodium, cholesterol. Those are all things that people try to watch in their diet.
Now, cholesterol, sodium, and saturated fat could be deadly. But the ugliest aspect of a burger, trans fat. Which burger really stood out for its trans fat content?
So based on this chart, it looks like number 5 is the highest number, and I believe it's that one down there.
That's the culprit, Shake Shack. Now, trans fat is the worst kind of fat you can eat. It's so unhealthy that the FDA effectively banned it. That's in part because trans fats are added to food, produced industrially because they're cheap and taste good. With burgers, however, trans fat probably comes from the meat itself or any dairy between the buns. But just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good for you. Shake Shack, among the highest in protein, was leagues above the other 4 when it came to trans fat. That's a big trade-off. Now, our analysis obviously didn't account for portion size or what's healthier over the long term. Is it better to have a natural burger with more trans fats or one that's lower in trans fats and has more filler? Point is, nutrition labels aren't the whole story, and all burgers have some bad stuff. The true contest? Whether you can resist one.